In a groggy state, I glance at the clock by my bedside and frown. It's already 12:21 a.m., leaving me with a maximum of just 6.5 hours to sleep. Not ideal. I squeeze my eyes shut, willing my mind to quiet down, but it's as resistant as ever. Worrisome thoughts continue to occupy my consciousness. In an attempt to calm my anxious thoughts, I pull my beloved funfair trophy closer to me, embracing the now slightly worn-out bear. This oversized bear, roughly the size of an older child, was won for me by my father 8 years ago at the town's annual fair. It took a considerable amount of my persistent pleading and even some fake tears for him to keep trying. After spending a total of $12, the bear became mine, and it has remained in my bed ever since. During troubled nights filled with nightmarish visions, the bear offered a unique solace. Despite its perennial chilliness, a comforting contrast amidst the warmth of the duvet, and despite its now disheveled fur, cuddling it always felt snug. Even when not tightly embraced, the bear would rest beneath the duvet beside me, its coldness a reassuring presence throughout the night. It prevented the sense of solitude within the bed. Now in the wee hours of the morning, I clutch it as a child would. The familiar yet oddly unpleasant scent it has gathered over the years soothes my restless mind, and within moments, I sense myself drifting into sleep. In a state between sleep and wakefulness, a subtle shift in the duvet catches my attention. It's enough to jolt me into a heightened awareness, eyes widening, heart racing. My gaze fixates on the wall opposite me. Suddenly fear grips me, slowing my heart almost to a halt. 2 words emerge, distorted yet discernible. Don't look beneath this ominous message. A downward arrow points to a single spot. The grotesque writing sends a chilling shiver down my spine, prompting my mind to desperately seek a logical explanation for this unnerving sight. For numerous nights, this same eerie scenario has unfolded. I'd awaken in the eerie darkness, confronted only by that haunting message. By daybreak, it always vanished, but each time, I'm certain I wasn't asleep. This odd occurrence has repeated itself frequently over the past years, a peculiar sensation stirring me awake within the bed, followed by this sight. Every instance prompted an internal struggle between curiosity and irrational fear, with fear reigning victorious. Until tonight. Tonight, an overwhelming urge pushes me further than ever before, to simply look, to bravely step out of bed, flood the room with light, and calm my mind. Knowing there's nothing lurking underneath would surely banish this bout of insomnia. Yet I remain hesitant. A typical childhood is often shadowed by the fear of various monstrous entities lurking under the bed, concealed within the darkness, melding into the obscure corners and shadows. Such fears nestle deep within the mind's darkest recesses. Even now, I refrain from dangling my legs over the bed's edge, wary of some cold, slender grip seizing them. The distance to the light switch isn't great, yet in the darkness, it stretches like an endless expanse. Summoning my courage, I propel myself out of bed, relieved to find my legs ungrasped by any imagined monsters. Pausing briefly to appreciate my newfound bravery, I proceed with cautious steps toward the wall. I manage about 4 steps before another sound competes with the floor's creak. The bed emits a creak, a subtle noise yet enough to render me motionless. Over the years, the bed frame has deteriorated, its weakened bars producing audible sounds with the slightest movement. Another creak, louder now, as if a shift in weight occurs. Abruptly, a scratching noise follows, a haunting scrape of pointed nails against metal. Gradual, piercing, chilling. A surge of energy propels me into swift motion, taking long strides. Despite my movement, the scratching persists, now accompanied by raspy, deep breaths. Each inhalation seems a struggle, while the exhalations remain eerily silent. Approaching the wall, the noise intensifies, drawing closer. What had seemed to originate from the bed now shadows my movements as I grope in the eerie darkness for the light switch. Come on, I mutter urgently, convinced that I'm not alone in the room. The unsettling sensation of being observed envelops me, impossible to shake. A malevolent presence lingers, biding its time. At last, my fingers find the switch and I flick it without hesitation, spinning around to confront the now illuminated room. Nothing. The wall stands bare, the bed untouched. The bear's outline under the duvet remains visible but harmless. I exhale, a mixture of relief and annoyance at my overactive imagination. Finally, I can resolve this absurd situation and find some peace. The clock displays 02:49. With newfound bravery and the light's protection, I approach the bed and kneel, aiming to peer beneath it. There, at the distant end of the floor, sits my bear, partially obscured by the shadows. What a relief. Hastily, I drop to my belly and start wriggling underneath to retrieve it. Midway through, a sudden realization hits me like a sledgehammer. If my bear is beneath the bed, then what occupies it? The creaking resumes, and I sense weight above me on the bed. The chilling sound shifts from the right side to the left. Then, an eerie silence envelops the room, stifling my breath. A shadow looms beside me, forming a round shape resembling a head. It seems to stare. With a trembling lip, I force myself to glance at what has shared my bed every night. The monstrous entity I've clung to for comfort in moments of fear now leers at me, its grotesque teeth displaying a satisfied grin. Suspended from the bed's edge, it sports pure black eyes that meet mine, whispering chillingly in an icy, malicious tone, uttering 4 simple words: "You shouldn't have looked." Following that, it slithers off the bed, onto the floor, moving on its hairy belly. It inches closer to join me under the bed, and I sense its familiar cold touch against me once more. Its repugnant arms envelop my torso, its grotesque lips against my ear as it sneers, "Oh, how the tables have turned," and then I slip into an eternal slumber.